All right, how do I do an inspection on a car that I did not have a pre-purchase inspection done? Well, this is a unique car in the sense that it's a 2000 Cadillac Seville SLS. And I have a guy in New Hampshire, Anthony, who has the ability to find really nice old examples of some of the American luxury cars. I've purchased a number of cars from Anthony, and he's been spot on every time. It doesn't mean that I don't do a service and a pre-purchase inspection. I do. So one of the first things I do is I check the integrity of the cooling system. And that involves pressure testing it. And I'm doing that right now. Now it's holding 15 PSI perfectly. Not a problem. It's not a problem. And then I will actually change the coolant. Even though I think it's been done, I don't assume that anything's been done. Some of the other things I do, I always bleed the brakes. And I do that simply because this is one of the most neglected pieces in a car. And in this case, the brake fluid was clearly in need of replacement. Now, I don't bust Anthony's balls for this because 99.9% of the people I know never do the brake fluid. Never do the brake fluid. They don't even, they're clueless. They're sort of confused as to why I would do it. So that involves getting the wheels off and getting ready to bleed the brakes. And how I start that, I use my vacuum extractor, this, and suck out the brake fluid. I then go to the power steering fluid. Power steering fluid gets used a lot. Very few people ever replace it. I've already sucked out the power steering fluid and poured in new. And that's a process of suck, replace, use, suck, replace, use. You got to do it. Then there's going to be an oil change. I've got the filter, the correct filter from GM. I've got the correct oil. I'm just going to do it. I then also inspect the brake pads and the brakes, of course. These look great. And then it's a little hard to tell, but there are caliper slide pins, which I've already removed and greased and replaced. It clearly needed it. So that's how I do it. I will also torque these wheels down to their spec, which is 100 foot-pounds. And once I do that, I feel pretty good that the car is ready for use. The next thing I'll do is I'll change the transmission fluid, but I don't really have the time or energy to do that now because I've got the Mercedes over there that I'm working on. So this is sort of get it done. It takes less than half a day. Get it all done. You can leave the car alone then for however long you need to, knowing that the brake fluid's been changed, oil's been changed, coolant's been changed, that the brakes have been inspected, the things that sort of say, hey, I need to be serviced. Because if you're going to store the car for 3 or 4 months, you don't want crummy brake fluid in it. You don't want stuff that's green because the stuff's supposed to be amber. This stuff clearly needs to be done. So that gets rid of the high water content that's in brake fluid, which is obviously rusting calipers, etc. I'm checking the coolant, knowing that it's holding pressure, so the system's good. This is a North Star. Like I said, it's a 2000 Cadillac Seville SLS. It's only got 29,000 miles. But I like to be sure that things are freshened and checked because this car will sit for a number of months while I'm working on other things. And I want all the fluids to be good so that when I go and take it down to Illinois to get the head studs done, which is the weak point on any North Star, I know that the car's in good shape otherwise. Now, I must say, this is a gorgeous car. Oh my God, the body panels are gorgeous. The interior is gorgeous. And of course, everybody knows I'm a fan of big, comfy, squishy seats. And I tell you, this leather is supple. It's supportive. The seats are in good condition. The interior is in great condition. Oh, it's impressive. Now, every car that's 22 years old is gonna have problems. That's just the way it goes. But like always with my cars, I say maintenance, maintenance, and maintenance. If you can maintain it, change the fluids, keep on top of it. North Stars are particularly finicky about coolant. And so making sure you're really focused on the coolant on a North Star is vital. Making sure that the system holds pressure tells you if there's a problem with the head gasket, if it's leaking anywhere, or anywhere in the cooling system. It's a good, simple, easy to do test that just pays benefits down the road. In this case, this is obviously a gorgeous car. Anybody who knows anything about these old North Star Cadillacs, the Sevilles, will look at it and go, the paint's great. All the rubber is good. I mean, it's just in wonderful condition. And this is a Massachusetts car. Now, of course, we can't. The alarm went off. It has, you'll have to take my word for it, just the mildest amount of superficial rust on the suspension. But other than that, it is in glorious condition. I mean, it looks like a car that's been owned for a couple of years, like it's now 2002, because the mileage is consistent with that. It's 29,000 miles. The paintwork is amazing. The pinstripe is amazing. The interior is, oh, so nice. Everything looks really good on this car. All the windows work, all the switches work. But that's one thing I've learned about Anthony, is he's a solid guy. When he says a car is solid, just take his word for it. He will point out problems. I am sure he pointed out some dings or areas on the paint that are a problem. But these are not big enough deals to tell someone, no, I don't want to buy a 22-year-old Cadillac Seville that is in exquisite condition. Oh my God, this thing is so nice. Everything is great. The wood's great. The dash is great. It's a solid car. So like I said, pre-purchase inspection. At the same time, service it. Yeah, it's great to look at all these things, but just service it. Now, what I did a couple of days ago after it arrived is I power washed the underside of the car. Yeah, they had to drive it a little bit on the snow and ice and salt, so I just cleaned it off. Why not? It allows me to do an inspection, look for any leaks, and that's important. So it is a gorgeous car. I'll keep repeating that. It's going to be serviced within an inch of its life, just because I know it's going to be stored for a period of time. And I don't want any fluids in the car that are crummy, old, and simply not up to the job of protecting the car while it's not being driven. Yeah, it is, don't know. Yeah, it is simply an outrageously pretty car. Now, the nice thing about cars like this is obviously they're not very expensive. If you get a good piece, you've got lots of nice driving time. And it's taken me a while to learn how to find good cars. I looked for DeVilles and Sevilles and other cars and just ended up getting junk. And then I discovered Anthony, who's my American car guy. And once again, nice, clean car. It's just so clean. So it will obviously be a 3 seasons car. It's not going to be driven in the snow because there's salt. And there's no reason to take a car that's 22 years old that you got for a really good price and that is tight mechanically and then decide you're going to ruin it because you're a knucklehead. So that's it. This is my pre-purchase inspection when I can't do a pre-purchase inspection. Little servicing, little detailing. I've already charged the battery, which is new, and it's actually under the seat in the rear. I put my battery maintainer on it, and it's awesome. So all the big issues are done. It will obviously be stored indoors because it is a primo car. Like I've said before, if you don't like a car, store it outside. Guaranteed that it will ruin the car quickly. Store it under cover. Don't let it rain on it or snow on it. You store a vehicle out in the weather, and I know some of us can't avoid that. I totally understand that some of us don't have the luxury that I have, which is being able to store a vehicle indoors or out of the weather. I've got a canopy in the back where I store a truck. Still outdoors, but it's out of the elements in terms of being rained on or snowed on or ultraviolet light damage. So that's it. God, I hope you're having a great day. It's going to be below 0 degrees Fahrenheit here in Wisconsin for the next week, which is typical for January. I get it. That's just the way it is. But I'm in a garage that's 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Heated floors, nice lighting. It's gorgeous in here. So I don't really know if it's 0 degrees outside or 40 degrees outside. It makes no difference to me. And that's how this area was designed, so that you could do anything: woodworking, store your equipment, machining, car work, or just a place to have the kids run around and play basketball, assuming you didn't have all these cars. Well, yeah, assuming that. So it's going to work out well. And I always try to get this pre-purchase inspection done and treatment done within a day or two of the car arriving. Getting parts, if this car needed parts, will take a while with the Rona. Having the head bolts done, I had to take it down to Joliet in Illinois. You got to be scheduled months in advance to get that service done. And lo and behold, sweet ride, good price. Oh my God. And given that cars are hard to come by, I have been very blessed with getting some really nice pieces. But realize I go for the cars that have reputations that they're terrible cars. And don't get me wrong, these North Stars, this era of Cadillacs, if they've been beaten up, they are crummy cars. Get nice specimens. Service them regularly. Be proactive in servicing them. I mean, look at this windshield wiper. I mean, God, this car is 22 years old. The paint on these windshield wipers should be faded or rusted. They're not. It's an amazing car. Oh, God. And the rubber and the gaskets. So, buy cars that are in good shape. Don't buy junkers. I mean, that's all you can buy is a junker. But you'll end up spending so much money to fix the pieces that are no good that in the long run, it's just better to buy a nice specimen. So, like I said, hope you're having a good time. Talk to you later. Oh, I always keep being told by friends, if you've actually endured this video, hit the like button. That would be great. Just tap that little like button. It's the thumbs up thing. And if you dislike it, tap the dislike button. I got to be fair. And if you don't like it or whatever, just say why. Just say, hey, I wish you'd done this or I wish you'd done that. Because I have no problem in giving a quick video on cars, especially gorgeous ones like this. Oh, mamacita. I don't even know what that means. But it is in such nice condition. Like I said, it looks like it's been out of the factory for 2 years when in fact it's been out of the factory for 22 years. I love you all. Talk to you later. Bye.